Well, now the piece number 20, using the Socratic method. One summer afternoon, Moreno held his class on the large porch of the Gillette house. His topic was a patient with whom he had just witnessed him at work. We were asked to do a process analysis of his work as director. Using the Socratic method, Moreno stated how he went about his work, then stopped at an important point and asked, "What do you think motivated me?" Or, "Why do you think I did that?" Or, "What did you especially notice?" One of us was about to answer when he was called to the telephone and suggested we turn off the tape recorder.
He was called to the telephone. Moreno.
Yes, when he was called to the telephone and suggested we turn off the tape recorder. He turned to one of the students to ask him to take the role of the director, to become his double. He never failed to turn any situation into a learning opportunity. Remember that?
Yep. And it was terrific because somebody else said, "Okay, I'll turn on my recorder, so it won't be on the one that he'll hear." And so they went on with the process. He did pretty well. In fact, it was the first man he trained and who became the head of the psychodrama unit at St. Elizabeth's Hospital here in Washington, D.C. He was superb. And then when Moreno came back, he said, "Would you like to hear what went on when you were not here?" And he listened. And we were all silent. It was so to the point. And he said, "That was a very fine lesson too."
Mm-hmm.
That was a very fine lesson as well.
Mm-hmm. At that time, you used tape recorders for the audio,
For teaching.
not for video.
Well, not for video. That didn't exist in this form. We had movies, yes, but you had to have all. We made movies in the theater, but we're sitting outside, listening to the birds, and so this recorder was fine. But you didn't see the action, but at least you heard the voices.
Mm-hmm. Good. Now, moving to number 21. A cosmetic for the psyche. When we guided spontaneous drama, it was notable that even with low intelligence protagonists, their faces and behavior changed, and they would often lose their masks and appear more intelligent as well. Moreno observed, brackets, psychodrama is a cosmetic for a psyche.
Of the psyche.
Of this psyche.
For the psyche.
Yes, let me try again. Psychodrama is a cosmetic for the psyche. It reveals the individual's internal beauty. After a group of educators from Teachers College in New York City watched Moreno work with the girls in Hudson, they concluded, if Moreno is only half right, Thorndike, a professor of classic education at Columbia, is more than half wrong. This is historic because it shows the impact of role-playing on the learning process of the young. They appear more intelligent to teachers. If they look more with it, they get more of the teacher's attention. Thorndike was all for the conservative, repetitious kind of teaching, the exact antithesis of J.L.'s way. He had many students at Columbia and therefore strong influence on the wrong kind, as we see it, of education. Clearly, Moreno's pioneering influence was visible in many fields in this country soon after he arrived here. Any comment to that?
Yes, he wanted the teacher to appreciate the whole person. And some aspects are not so pleasant, and others are more pleasant. And you have to take in the entire body and spirit of this person. And not put them in little boxes repetitiously, like cookie cutters.
Mm-hmm.
That's no way to teach. It's a way to reduce people. Moreno's idea was to expand people.
Affirmation before negation. Another significant aspect of Moreno's entire oeuvre is that he taught that affirmation comes before negation. That means not only accepting the other, but saying yes to the other person. That was how he was able to connect with the sickest patients. It communicates, brackets, of course, that is who you are. That is who you are. Later the position becomes, but what if? Let's try that out and see what happens.
If you affirm the person as they are able to change. If you negate them, you're just constraining them and turning them inwards. Besides, they lose trust in you. So, his first reply to anything was always yes. Now let's take a look at that. But also with children, with Jonathan, if he had a question, or he brought home some story from, it was during the Vietnam War, and the place where we lived was furiously Republican and for the war, and we were furiously against it. So he came home with these two different views of the war. And he became confused when we said, no, Jonathan, that's not correct. That's not the way it is. Because there, the war was a wondrous war. To us, it was hell. And so he looked confused because we were his parents. And we certainly knew more than his classmates. I don't know, the teachers didn't talk about it. So, when he left the room, Moreno said, did you see how disappointed John, how confused he was? I said, yes, I did. He felt depleted, as if his balloon had burst. He said, from now on we do this. We're not talking against each other, but one of us has to be on his side, even though that's not our side. So from then on, he said, the whole idea that parents shouldn't have different opinions in front of children is nonsense. If one supports the child and is not interfered with by the other partner, it's fine. Consciously letting them work out whatever he has to work out. Mm-hmm. So even the idea of parenting is different in psychodrama. Somebody becomes the protagonist, in this case, double, to help the child express itself.
To help the child express itself. Mm-hmm.
And to explore what that means.
Finally, we come to Learning Bite 23. And it's the end of chapter 9. There is a fitting statement in a Tibetan meditation. Brackets. I stand at a point of light. I am that light. I am that light. And with that light I serve. Moreno taught me to rekindle the light for others.
And that's also interesting. I didn't know I had such a light. But George and I went away for the weekend to this inn where we used to go. And I'm always a group of people there, like 20, 25 people.
Who was it with you?
George and I went for a weekend to an inn in the country.
When was it that? George?
George was my boyfriend at the time.
Ah.
And instead of going through the door, we didn't have air conditioning in the window sills at that time, and air conditioning at all, except in the buildings. And I saw a window was open, and I crawled in through the window. I didn't care if they thought I was crazy. I mean, I knew I was crazy, but it didn't matter. And one of the people in the group was a psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, who later, unfortunately, committed suicide. Do you know how many psychoanalysts committed suicide at the time? See, Freud took away hope. Moreno gave people hope. And so he said to my boyfriend, she has a great light in her. Don't kill it. That's where I realized I have a light in me. And then I thought, of course, everybody has a light. For some it is very dim, and it has to be encouraged. Other people it is very large, and it must not be discouraged. And we assume in psychodrama that everybody has a light. And that if it isn't shining, we have to help it to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Had I stayed in the relationship with that man, my light would have been pushed down, and I would have had to break it, the relationship. He was absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
That psychoanalyst was absolutely right.
Ah.
That in the relationship, I felt myself crushed.
So George was not able to see the light you were.
He was not living in the same world that I lived in. Moreno saw it. Very few other people did.
Mm-hmm.
And this was such a gorgeous looking psychoanalyst, and I always think of him, what on earth happened to him? Now that would make a major psychodrama. But he had to commit suicide.
Well, Zerka, I was not able to bring the book, but I brought a copy of and I will show you. Well, it is Psychodrama and Social Drama in American Education.
There is such a book.
It was a book printed by Beacon House, New York, 1949. When
edited by Robert Haas.
Yes, edited by Robert Bartlett Haas. with an introduction by J.L. Moreno. When I came to visit you in Charlottesville in 2009, March 2009, you wrote for me in that book the following message. I will show it here. Dear Sergio, Moreno thought of himself as a teacher. Love, Zerka, March 14, 2009. This is the paper. What made you to write that? Moreno thought of himself as a teacher.
I think many mystics feel that way. He's not the only one. They were teachers in cosmic lessons, not in simple education, which means teachers of a very different kind. And I told you that the family's name originally was Moreno, which in Hebrew means our teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So he never mentioned that, but I put the two together, and I heard that it was originally Moreno, and I heard it from his brother William. Not from Moreno didn't care what the name was; it don't happen to be a name. But William said the family name originally was Moreno, and we didn't talk about it anymore. And I thought about it. I said, it's Hebrew for our teacher. And he certainly had a messianic position in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And his message was always the same thing. Love each other, and I give you the instruments to love each other. Or I give you the instrument to love each other.
Anything else?
Well, are you satisfied with this?
Sorry?
Are you satisfied?
Very much, very much. I think that we made it.
Good. Fine.
Good?
Then I hope your students enjoy this.